Most people think that the heart attack was the scariest part. It wasn't. The scariest part was my first night in the hospital. By that time, the procedure was done, the hospital had did their job, and for the first time, I was alone with my thoughts. The adrenaline was gone, everything. And that's the moment that it hit me. I just had a heart attack at 34 years old. Everything came rushing to me. Is this real? Did I really have a heart attack? I didn't even know that I had a heart attack. I thought that I prevented it by going and that they stopped me from having a heart attack. My wife had to tell me over and over, you had a STEMI heart attack, which is a real heart attack. I remember laying in the bed, and of course, my wife came to visit me. Some friends came to visit me, of course. But at the end of this, of people visiting me, and the calls and the texts and the phone, I put the phone down at one point, and it was like, this is real. This is really real. I had a heart attack at 34, and I'm laying in this hospital bed alone. Nurses are coming in. They're telling me, you're the youngest person that I've seen have a heart attack personally, and you know, you're so lucky. This one doctor came in and was like, you survived the Widowmaker. And it was like all these different things were occurring while I was in the hospital, and it was terrifying. Obviously, they're coming in and out of the room. They're sticking me here. They're testing this. They're doing my blood pressure thing is going off every 15, 20 minutes. Their thing on my wrist where my cath went in, where they went with my arteries, the thing on my wrist was inflated with air. It's like an air thing to keep my arteries from the blood thinners from just bleeding out. And that hurt so much. The pressure was so much on my arm, and this hurts and that hurts. My chest hurts. I felt so confused and bewildered by what happened. I was in a state of shock. I could never really rest. The nurses were in and out. They wouldn't let me sleep good. They wanted to keep checking on me. Couldn't go into the bathroom to pee because I was attached to all these different things. So to go to the bathroom, like I had to pee in this thing. And I was reduced in this hospital room to an animal level. And they treated me good. I'm not saying anything about how they treated me. I'm saying the idea of having a heart attack and now being incapacitated temporarily, not allowed to get up and walk, not allowed to go do anything. So I'm in a hospital room, an ultramarathon runner just had a heart attack, and they're telling me, young man, you can't get up to walk. And I'm thinking in my head, am I gonna ever run again? Am I ever gonna run again? Am I gonna walk out of here? Like my head was going all over the place. These questions, they continued to come. It was, am I gonna run again? Am I ever gonna be strong again? Am I gonna be able to play with my kids? And I got very scared. I started asking myself questions, and I'm laying in this bed, and I'm thinking in my head that it might all be over for me, you know? I might have to stop running. I might have to stop working out. I might not be able to put any stress on my heart. I didn't have an answer to these questions. So I remember I was laying there and I was just asking God, you know, am I going to be okay? And I felt like I was going to be okay. But the truth is, I didn't know in that moment. I did not know. And that was around the same time that I started saying, how am I going to use this for good, believe it or not? I spent a lot of time that first night in the hospital thinking about my children, thinking about my son, thinking about my daughter, thinking about the fact that they just witnessed me having a heart attack, and my son, how hard that could have been for him to see his dad having a heart attack, going to the hospital. The difficulty involved with your family members when you have a health crisis is, it's not easy. It's not easy, you know, but I wasn't so concerned about how I felt about it. I was thinking about how do they feel about it. And, you know, my girl held it down and was taking care of the kids. I was so scared that I wasn't going to be able to like chase after my son and play with my boy, and when my girl gets bigger to do the same with her. I was really genuinely afraid that I wasn't going to be able to do these things. Nobody could like assure me for sure that I was going to be able to do these things, you know, until I actually spoke to the doctor. I was so paranoid that this was not over. You know, the doctor reassured me when he finished putting in the cath, the stents. He reassured me that you're okay now. You have blood flow to your heart again, but I still felt, you know, tightness in my chest. So when I was attached to all the monitors and these things would beep and they'd go off, and like I'm thinking in my head that like this is it. Or like if I hit a high blood pressure, because I did, my blood pressure was like still super high after because of everything was so out of whack, you know, I was terrified. I was mortified by these monitors, and every time they went off, I'm asking people, "Am I okay? Do we need to get the doctor? Is everything all right?" And you know, they reassured me, and they made me feel comfortable that everything was okay. The nurses were so nice. I went to HCA West Side Hospital for the actual stents. That's where they were placed. And the nurses there and the doctor, everybody was excellent. So as I'm laying there, as I'm laying in the hospital bed, and I asked myself all these questions already. I thought about my family. I'm freaking out over these monitors and all these different things. I had to sit there and ask myself, what am I going to do now? And I didn't have the answers. I didn't have almost any of the answers. But I made a decision in the hospital that I was going to take this heart condition. I have coronary artery disease. I had a full STEMI heart attack, a LAD blockage of 95%. I had 2 stents placed into my arteries to save my life. What am I going to do to use this for good? Since then, a lot has happened. I've gone viral on the internet. You're watching this video. I've become an advocate in this department. I didn't have that going on at that point. But at that point, I was thinking in my head, small, how can I use this for good? And, you know, I made a video back then. It didn't go viral, but actually it might have. I don't remember, but never mind. I made a small little video and I said, you know, I'm going to take this and I'm going to use it and I'm going to run with this to become, you know, as strong as I possibly can and help as many people as I possibly can. Because when it became my reality, which was immediately after, I didn't accept it right away. But the fact is I had a heart attack, and that's my new reality, is that I'm a heart attack survivor. So I could either be a heart attack survivor, you know, depressed, miserable, not taking care of myself because what's the point, and all of these things that I know have happened to other people, or I could take the bull by the horns, become the best, strongest, most mentally clear version of myself that I could possibly be, become the best father to my children, husband, everything that I could possibly be, and I could take that and then fill my cup up enough to where I could then use my experience, my story, my testimony. How can I take this and use it to help others to get through maybe just one more day? Because we can't complicate this. Sometimes it's moment to moment. This has been the hardest thing I've ever gone through mentally. I have had days where I can't believe what happened. I cannot believe it. And I don't want to accept it. And even though, you know, what's helping me now, believe it or not, one of the things, besides my kids, my family, God, but what's helping me is the fact that I am making these videos. I am contributing to this area. And I'm having a positive impact on a large group of people. The heart attack obviously changed my life. But the first night in the hospital was when I realized that my life had changed. Make sure if you watch this video, you like it, you subscribe. We have videos every single Sunday explaining right now my series, Rebuilding After Widowmaker. Next Sunday, we're going to talk about getting 2 stents at 34.